All right. So again, please read this in its entirety, our disclaimer, before continuing. Once done, enjoy the video. Minister of Fun back online. Let's go.
The highest performing real estate assets that are out there were never exposed to you, right? They never make it to the MLS and they never make it to Zillow where you're looking for your deals, where the average everyday person is looking for a deal. Why is that? Because you don't get the memo. That's information is reserved for the rich and wealthy. Like, let me tell you something that I heard a long time ago from a mentor, and it sticks with me all the time. Money talks, but wealth whispers. You're going to get a lot of people that talk to you about money, but most people are never going to be able to talk to you about wealth because they're not privileged to that information. They don't have access themselves. So let me tell you, this is the gap in real estate. In order for you to get involved in high performing real estate assets, typically you would need a lot of capital, great credit, or the right connection, or a combination of all the three. And if you didn't have that, you were not invited to the party. You did not get to earn from high performing real estate assets like the rich and wealthy people did. That is simply the truth. That caused a lack of access. So what I want you guys to do now is to think about this. Also, one of the things that keep most people out of it is the slow processes of real estate. It's very antiquated in the traditional space. When I'm talking about it, it takes a long time for you to realize capital appreciation in a real estate project, to start earning money in a real estate project. It would take 3 to 5 years, 5 to 7 years, 8 to 10 years for you to realize the maximum ability for you to be able to capitalize on real estate and from appreciation, right? But I want to tell you this right here. Tonight, we're going to show you the easiest and the fastest path to passive cash flow in the real estate space that exists, period. I haven't seen, look, I talk to real estate investors, I talk to real estate brokers, I talk to real estate agents, I talk to a lot of people in real estate all the time, but guess what? Nobody has ever been able to show me a better or a faster way to passive cash flow than what we have here tonight, right? So you're probably saying, well, how is this happening? How is this a thing right now? Where there's a thing that's impacting our financial space that's called tokenization. Now, let me tell you, it may seem like a big word, but I'm going to simplify it for you today. That's my job, is to make it simple, right? Now, there's an article that's on the screen right now that says Trump's Maldives Hotel will be a tokenized real estate project, and they're going to allow investors to buy digital shares of the development. Now, that is a point of information. The organization for the president of the United States, Donald Trump, Eric Trump, all the people, right? You get it, you see it. They're getting involved in the tokenization space. Why? Because they got the memo. They understand where things are going. They understand where the money is about to be flowing. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to position themselves in front of it. Now, let me tell you, this may sound great, and some of you might be getting excited about that project, but there's something that they've done to that project that's keeping you from participating. You know what it is? They slapped a little label on it. You know what label they put on this project? Even though this is tokenization, what they slapped on it is accredited investor. So in order for you to get access to this, you need to be an accredited investor. I don't know if you've looked at what an accredited investor is, but that means you got $1 million net worth outside of your primary residence. You earn over $250,000 per year, and you also got licenses like Series 6, 7, and 63, all of that type of license stuff for some opportunities. So what I want to tell you right now is that that's a lack of access again. They using tokenization and they're going to capitalize on tokenization, but they still telling you aren't invited to the party. But let's move on. I want to show you another point of information. So one of the things that I like to look at is I like to look at the people who are getting the memos, the people who are in the know, right? So some of those people who are accredited investors, some of those people who have high net worth. So let's look at what they're doing. Recent surveys show that 80% of high net worth investors and 67% of institutional investors already invest in or plan to invest in tokenized assets. What does that mean? They also have gotten the memo. If that's not enough, let's look on the institutional level. What is BlackRock doing? BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world, right? And so I don't really care what you feel about any of the people that I'm talking about. I don't care what you feel about the president. I don't care what you feel about Larry Fink. I don't care what you feel about BlackRock. Here's what I want to tell you. Get your feelings out of your finances. Get out of your feelings. Here's one thing I learned about being in your feelings. Your feelings will cost you money more than they'll make you money. If you've realized it yourself, let me see the hearts and hundreds. Let me see you guys know I'm telling the absolute truth. I just want to make sure that you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Get out of your feelings. They will not help your finances. So here's what I want to tell you. BlackRock's Larry Fink has been touting tokenization over the past few years, and he's been saying tokenization is going to revolutionize everything. Everything will be tokenized. It's going to be the greatest thing that hit our financial space in a long time. But here's what stood out for me is this article right here. He said tokenization could do for finance what the early internet did for information. Now, this is my simple explanation of tokenization when it comes to real estate. Tokenization is the process of converting real estate asset ownership into digital tokens on the blockchain. One simple, one sentence explanation of tokenization. That through tokenization, we can program how things are supposed to work and have the artwork automatically through blockchain technology. So when you're supposed to get paid, you get paid permissionless, automated, in an automated way where it doesn't require human approval. I love it, right? So now we have an opportunity to be able to do this. Now I can go on the blockchain and look at my tokens that represent my share to be able to participate in the profitability of a tokenized real estate asset. Because you know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about this incredible company called eEstate. Now, what eEstate is doing is they're revolutionizing the real estate market, and they're combining cutting-edge technology with accessible real estate opportunities, and they're opening up the doors for everybody to participate. So no one is left out. Everybody's invited to the party. Let me tell you how successful this company has been, right? This company was established in November of 2024. I was privileged to be one of the people they consulted with when they were about to launch this company, right? But I had a certain list of requirements that I needed to see before I would even touch it, right? And so when they came back to me after taking a little bit of the information that they inquired about from me, they came back and said, we're ready to launch. We're going to launch in June of 2025. I said, that's cool, but I need to see a couple things, right? What are you doing as far as properties? They said, well, we have acquired our first 9 properties. I said, shut the front door. Some of y'all thought I was about to cuss, right? I said, shut the front door, right? Here's what I want to tell you. I was excited. I said, you acquired. You mean you acquired 9 different properties? They said, yes, we have 9 different properties that we've acquired. I said, okay, that sounds cool. Now, how are we going to do this with the tokens? They said, well, we got a token. And I said, hold on. What kind of token is this? Because I've been involved in pump and dumps before, and I don't want to be involved in another one. They said, well, don't worry, Anthony. We don't have a token that's going to be volatile with the markets. What we have is a token that's going to represent value in real world properties. Every one of our estate tokens, EST, is going to represent $10 of value in a real estate property. What? Yeah, I said, okay, that's cool. You got me there. You got me there. Now I said this has to be accessible for the average everyday people, not just for me, not just for the rich and wealthy. I don't want to deal with one of those. I need this to be accessible for average everyday people. They said we believe it's accessible because we got our lowest when we got started. The lowest entry point was $117. But as I just explained to you all, that's now been lowered to $10 for the average everyday person to access. So I said, oh, this is a game changer. If y'all can launch this and make this happen, if you launch in June, I'm launching with you. I launched with them in June, and here's what happened. In 6 months, this is what happened. This community grew to more than 10,500 users, more than 5,000 real estate purchase transactions through EST. We had more than 2 million EST sold, had grown to more than 1,200 active agents, professionals worldwide representing this company. But here's my favorite one, right? Here's my favorite thing. Over $2.5 million paid out to people who have purchased tokenized real estate assets. We started with 9 properties. We quickly, in 6 months, grew to 11 properties. Now we're up to 12 properties, and we're about to be 13 properties. We got over $150 million worth of property on our platform. Guys, we're not playing games. Since the official launch, and everybody has gotten paid like they're supposed to get paid. I just had to throw that in there for free. You can that's just for free. All right. Now, if you were wondering what we have access to here, here's what we have. We got real properties, not metaverse. These are not digital properties. This is not any of those. These are real properties in prime real estate areas, right? All of our properties are insured for your protection and tokenized for greater liquidity. Every property undergoes a thorough auditing process, which includes AI analysis, and it also includes the analysis of real estate experts. Yes, we got a traditional real estate company called Eli Properties, that's headed by Mike Hamilton, our co-founder, who is actually vetting the properties that come to the platform. Can I tell y'all something? 99% of the properties that they evaluate don't pass the assessment. Why? Because they're looking for the best, most profitable properties for us to participate in. Our company is LEI verified. You can find our information on Bloomberg. We are building one of the largest communities for tokenized real estate that has ever existed. Guys, this is absolutely amazing. When it comes to compliance and verification, whether it's Financial Action Task Force standards, whether it's anti-money laundering standards, or either legal entity identifier, which I just mentioned, we are all compliant and verified. Now let's give you a sample. I'm just gonna give you a little sample. You know, like that Chinese spot in the mall. You know how they got that little toothpick with that meat on it, and they say, "Come over here, try this," and then they let you taste it. And next thing you know, you're like, "Hey, I gotta get that. Let me get that. Let me get that bourbon chicken. Let me get that, right?" So they give you a little sample. Well, my goal is to give you a little sample of what we got, right? So I'm gonna tell you what we have here, right? Here we got real properties. This is a lake house that's located in Lakeside, Oregon. It's a beautiful property, right? Absolutely gorgeous property. But what's more beautiful about it is the numbers. Ooh, let me go over the numbers. Here's this property that was built in 2007. It's a two-story home with a crawl space, and it's a contemporary style home. It's 3,780 square feet, sitting on 13.3 acres, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2-car attached garage, 40 by 60 foot shop out back. It has views of the lake and the forest, and it has direct access to the lake with a dock. Amazing property. Exactly the type of property that you want to be set up for short-term rental, and that's exactly what this property is set up for. Now let's look at the short-term rental performance though. The average daily rate for this property is $950. The estimated annual occupancy is 65 to 75%. And the projected annual rental revenue is $208,000 to $260,000 per year. This is amazing. Now, if I told you can get access to this property and you just have to pay $5,000 and you can actually start earning passive income from this property, most people would tell me, if they have any financial intelligence, they would tell me, absolutely, I would do that. How many of you all would do that? If I told you you could start earning passive income from this property for as little as $5,000, who would do that? Let me see the hearts and hundreds. I see the hearts and hundreds coming in. You guys are very financially intelligent, I tell you, right? But even though you guys are very financially intelligent, let me tell you, the company has done something revolutionary. They didn't make it 5,000. They didn't make it 1,000. They didn't make it 500. You actually get access to earn passive income from this property for as little as $250. It's $950 a day for you to stay. It's $250 for you to get paid from it. Which one do you want? Here's the other thing. We got a property that's located in Indio, California. This is a villa. You see the swimming pool and the hot tub. It's a beautiful property as well, right? I told you our company only gets the best properties. This home was built in 2005. It's a 1-story home, slab on grade, modern single-family home. The total square foot of this house is 3,308 square feet. It's sitting on 0.3 acres, has a 2-car attached garage. It's in a residential neighborhood and has a private yard. Now let's look at the short-term rental performance of this one. Oh, this one's sweet. When I looked at this one, I said, all I saw was dollar signs. I said, ooh, this one's going to pay good, right? $1,250 per day, right? 55 to 60% estimated annual occupancy, and the projected rental revenue is $275,000 to $315,000 per year. What? I said, yeah, this is a game changer, right? Now I said they probably gonna charge. They gotta charge at least like $10,000 for you to get a piece of this. They gotta charge at least $10,000. And at $10,000, you know what? I would jump on it. How many of y'all would jump on it for $10,000? I would jump on it. I was like, $10,000, it's gonna allow me to earn passive income from this property. I would do it. If they set it up like that, I'm gonna be all game for it. But guess what? They didn't say 10,000. They didn't say 7,000. They didn't say 5,000. They didn't say 2,500. I tell you guys, you can get access to earn passive income from a property like this for as little as $1,000. They set the minimum at $1,000. So picture yourself, you want to get involved in the real estate space, here's what you would have to do. You have to go out on the market and act like you're a real estate expert and find a high-performing real estate property, at least one that you believe it is, right? And then what you would have to do, in order to acquire that property, guess what you would need to do? you would need to now be able to finance that, right? Either go to your bank or to a mortgage company for most people. So when you do that, let me tell you what happens. That means that most mortgage companies and banks are going to require at least 20% down. Now, if we say that the average price of a house is $250,000, guess what's going to happen? You're going to need to put $50,000 down. That's 20% of $250,000, right? So let's just say you got the $50,000, you put the $50,000 down. Now you have the property, you have to get it ready for rental. Right? So that may require some repairs or renovations. But let's just say you go ahead and do that. Now that you have it ready for rental, you have a mortgage of at least, let's just say, $2,000 a month. So you got that mortgage of $2,000 a month, so you have to put it on the market for something that's competitive in order for you to find a good renter or tenant, right? So you put it on the market for at least $2,500 a month, and now you're going to try to find a good tenant, which I want to tell you is harder than you probably are imagining right now. So you're going to find a good tenant. So once you find a good tenant, they're willing to pay the $2,500 a month. You're ready. You're now earning what? A passive income of $500 a month. You're not in the green yet because you put down a $50,000 deposit. You're not in the green until that $50,000 deposit is cleared. Y'all feel me? All right. So now let me tell you, you gotta make this right. So you're gonna be making money. You make the 500. You saying it's cool until what happens? Until they call you in the middle of the year, around in July, and they call you and they say it's 110 degrees outside, and guess what just happened? That HVAC system just stopped working. It's blowing out hot air. Can you come fix this? And you saying, what? Oh man, now I gotta go out and fix this HVAC system. I gotta get somebody to fix that. Now, you go through that, you get that fixed. I don't know if y'all noticed the price of HVAC repair, but it gets expensive, right? So you go through that, and then you get that all cleared, so that cut into your profits a little bit. You say, but look, I got past that. But here's the next thing that happened. They call you. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're calling you with they're going crazy. Why? Because there's water all over the house. What happened? Their toilet started throwing up at them. Now they were throwing up in the toilet. The toilet started throwing up at them. The pipes bust, the water heater, whatever it is, right? And then you gotta go out and you gotta fix that now. You got to get a plumber to fix that. I don't know if you looked at getting a plumber out at 3 a.m., but it's not going to be the cheapest thing in the world. Here's the thing. What if it was me? I was a real estate investor, and I was in the market, right? And you know me, and you say, hey, Anthony, I see you doing it with the real estate thing. I'm trying to get in the real estate space. I said, well, look, I got a unique opportunity. I'm glad that you came to me right now because I got a house. It's a $200,000 house. I got it up to, it's performing very well. It's actually earning me 20 to 25,000 a month, right? But what I'll do is I'll pay you 10%, right? I'll pay you 10% a month. You say, okay, cool, 10% a month. Yeah, and what I did was I opened up 10 slots. So $200,000 house is $20,000 a slot. But what I'll do is I'll pay you 10% a month. You say, cool, so 10% of 20,000 is what? That's $2,000 a month. I'll tell you that I'll pay you that $2,000 a month for 18 months. You say, okay, cool, 18 months. Let me calculate that. That's $3,600. So you mean to tell me my 20,000 turns into 36,000 in 18 months? And I say, absolutely there. Now I'm not gonna leave you hanging. After the 18 months, I'm gonna pay you 10% annually until I sell the house. Once I sell the house, I'll pay you your $20,000 back. How many of y'all financially smart people were going to say, yep, I would do that deal if I had $20,000 to get started with? How many of y'all say that? Let me see the house of hundreds. That's an actually good deal, right? I like the way that's set up. Now, I tell you, I said, look, I told you I got 10 spots to fill up. So if you help me fill those spots, I'll actually pay you a little bit of commission. So help me find the next person that does the 20,000, and I'll pay you 1,200. You pay me 1,200, yeah, I'll pay you 6%. You say, okay, cool, that sounds like a plan for me. You go help me find somebody. Let's just say you find Alicia. And so when you find Alicia, right, and Alicia says, oh yeah, I want to do that too. So Alicia brings the 20,000. I say, I'm going to do the same exact thing for you. I'm going to give you 10% a month. That's $2,000 a month for 18 months. That means that you're going to make 36,000 in 18 months. After the first 18 months, we're going to shift, and I'm going to pay you 10% annually until I sell the property. And when I sell the property, I give you a 20,000 back. You say, okay, cool, that sounds good. We fill up all 10 spots. Now, I want y'all to see I'm happy. Why? Because if I fill up all 10 spots, guess what happened? I have collected $200,000. And are they happy? Yeah, they're making $2,000 a month. They're turning $20,000 into $36,000 in 18 months. And when I sell the property, I'm actually going to give them that $20,000 back. So let's just say right after the 18 months, I find a good seller that's willing to pay me $300,000 for the property. So it's appreciated in value. I could sell it for $300,000. Then I said, okay, I'm gonna sell it to you for $300,000. I'm gonna give y'all back y'all $20,000 each. So I give y'all back $200,000, 10 of y'all, and I sell the property for $300,000. I get to keep the other $100,000. How many of you all think right now that's an incredible opportunity for everybody involved? That's exactly how our two-phase income model works, except for it's better. Let me tell you why it's better over here. Because you can actually get involved, guys. I want you to check this. You can get started. You don't need $20,000. It starts as little as $10. You purchase tokens that represent your share of participation in the profitability from a property. Right? Now, what happens is that you are going to be able to earn anywhere between 6 to 20% per month based on the performance of the property that you're participating in. That's going to last for 18 months. After the 18 months, you're going to move into phase 2. Now, I want you to get, during that 18 months, those profits are not paid out monthly. They're not paid out weekly. Those profits are paid out daily, Monday through Friday, during the first 18 months. After the first 18 months, you're going to move into phase 2, where you're going to get paid 10% annually for the lifetime of the property until that property gets sold. Once that property gets sold, they're going to buy back your tokens, which means that you get your initial capital back. We actually are going through a buyback process very soon. How many of y'all saw that? Let me see the hearts and hundreds. Everybody that's involved in this, we're about to experience the buyback process of our Bali Villa. This company is doing every single thing that they said they would do on a high level. There's opportunities out there where you get involved as an accredited investor for $100,000, right? Now, with those opportunities, typically you get paid around 8% annually. You know what that means? That's about $8,000 a month. I mean, $8,000 a year, which means about $667,000 a month as an accredited investor. Do you know we have a Miami property that's in Miami, right? We was just there about 2 months ago. That's in Miami, right? It starts at $10, and that's the minimum investment. But let's do apples for apples. What if you put $100,000 in our Miami property? If you do that, do you know it will earn you a passive cash flow of $8,820 a month? That's 13 times more cash flow than the regular property that accredited investors get access to. Right here. And guess what, guys? That's our lowest performing property on the platform. Now, some of y'all are like, hey, Anthony, you've done enough. You've shown us enough. You've shown us enough. Anthony, I already believe what you're talking about. So many people are participating. Let me tell you this. You literally have the opportunity to get started today. Let me tell you the power of getting started today. The power of getting started today means, right, that you can start earning profit tomorrow. You can start getting paid tomorrow. It's so powerful. Now, let's talk about this. In order for you to get involved, all you have to do is reach out to the person who invited you onto this call. Most likely, they're already a digital real estate agent. I'm going to talk to you about that in just a moment. But all you have to do is set up your free account. Yes, I said free account. You don't have to pay anything to set up your account. Now, you do have to go through a KYC verification to make sure you're verified for the platform. Now, once you do that, you can browse the different assets that are on our platform. But here's one of the other things I like to highlight that's in that agreement. There's also asset inheritance, which means that you can pass on this passive income to a loved one in case something happens to you. It doesn't have to stop with you. This can allow you to create generational wealth. Let's talk about how you earn from this now. I'm going to talk about another way for you to earn. So what I want you guys to understand, everything I just talked about is you actually purchasing tokenized real estate assets and earning passive income. If that's all you want to do, you can do that. How many of you all excited about that? Let me see the hearts and hundreds for everyone that's excited about that. Like just earning passive income. Here's why I want to tell you. This agent opportunity is totally optional. Here's what I want you guys to get. that the person who invited you is probably building their own tokenized real estate portfolio. Their own tokenized real estate asset portfolio. So they're going to get paid regardless if you join or not. So don't feel bad if you decide not to make money with us. Because we're going to show you one of the greatest ways for you to earn actively from the real estate space. We have the opportunity for you to become a digital real estate agent. Let me explain what a digital real estate agent is. They're simply someone who connects buyers to the properties that are on the e-estate platform. And when you connect people with the properties on the e-estate platform and they make purchases, you're going to be paid commission. It is so much better than the traditional real estate space, in my personal opinion. Now, in order for you to become a digital real estate agent, you do have to have a licensed subscription membership to the International Association of Rare Digital Realtors, which is one of the companies that came together to launch eEstate. All right. Now, the membership cost is $9 per month, and you only have to pay your first month to get started. All right. I want you to understand. Only have to pay your first month to get started. Now, if you want to pay for the first year up front, it's only $90 for the first year. But once you actually pay that fee, you have to do a short online application. You sign an agreement with the company saying that you're going to adhere to their code of conduct, and then you get access to the platform. Once you get access to the platform, you are now able to start earning commission from the tokenized real estate asset sales that happen in your organization, whether it's from you or someone else in your organization. All right? So let's talk about this. Here's how you're compensated here. When you get started and you share this with somebody, they say, hey, look, I want to earn that passive income just like you are doing through your tokenized real estate assets. So when you share this with them and they purchase a share of a property and start earning their own passive income, you're going to earn 6% up front off of that purchase. Now, I want to tell you, this is similar to the traditional real estate space because traditional real estate agents, they earn anywhere from 3 to 5%. So I want you to also understand the traditional real estate space, they have to go through a broker, and if they're going through a broker and they haven't reached their cap yet, they're going to share a percentage of that profit with their broker. It's usually a 70-30 split, so the broker is going to take 30% of your commission. What I want to explain to everybody on this call is that you get to keep 6%, and you get to keep the full 6% when you share this with somebody and they make a purchase. That's the first thing that's incredible. The second thing is when you share this with somebody, they make a purchase, they're going to be connected to you forever. So every time they make a purchase, you're going to get paid another commission. Second thing I want to learn is from day one that you get to participate just like a real estate broker. What do I mean? That means that you can also enroll other agents into your organization. When you enroll other agents into your organization, guess what? You get to be compensated on the deals that they close as well. Now, depending on where that agent falls in your organization, whether they're on your level 2 through your level 5, you're going to earn 2% on every deal that they close. So if you have an agent on your level 2 who comes in and they close a $100,000 deal, they're gonna make 6%, which is $6,000. You're gonna make 2%, which is $2,000, and you may have had nothing to do with the deal. I think you will be excited about making money that you didn't have to work for. This is incredible. Now here's the next thing I want to tell you. You're going to earn 1% on all the deals that happen on your level 6 through your level 8. Yes, this is so powerful. Now, let's take it even further. The company also gives you the opportunity to earn profit commission. What is profit commission? This means that you have the opportunity to earn a piece of the profits that are being paid out from the properties in your organization. Now, the way you unlock this is that you become an agent level 4, which means you have $25,000 of qualified tokenized real estate sales in your organization. Once you become agent level 4, you unlock your first level, which entitles you to a 5% match of all the profits being paid from the properties on your first level. If that is $1,000 a day, you make $50 a day. If that is $2,000 a day, you would make $100 a day. If that was $10,000 a day, you would make $500 a day. Guys, this is a unlimited profit commission, and you can get paid on this profit commission for 5 levels of your organization. This is true residual income. It doesn't stop there though, right? If you are ready to build a career over here, we have different career levels. Everybody starts at level 0, but you can work your way up to now level 20. Right? Level 20 means you have $15 million of tokenized real estate sales through your organization. Once you get there, you're going to get a 50,000 e-token bonus, and you're going to get a $50,000 cash bonus. Now, you know you're not going to start there. Everybody works their way through the organization. So let me tell you how you're going to work your way up. It's all based on the tokenized real estate sales that are happening in your organization. So your personal purchases count towards that volume. So when you purchase a property and you're an agent, 100% of that property cost is actually credited to your volume. The people who purchase on your first level, 80% of that cost is credited to your volume. On your second level, it's 40%. Third level is 20%. Fourth level is 10%. And on levels 5 through 8 is 5%. But as that volume accumulates, you're going to move up the different agent levels. At level 1, that's $500. At level 2, that's $3,000. At level 3, that's $10,000. At level 4, that's $25,000. At level 5, it's $50,000. All the way up to now level 20, it's going to be $15 million. Now, every time you achieve one of these levels, you're not only getting a cash bonus, but you're also getting an e-token bonus. Now, e-tokens are just our way of rewarding. It's a reward system. So anytime you have e-tokens, you get 100 e-tokens, you get a chance to spin our money wheel. When you spin the money wheel, every time you spin it, you have a chance to win anywhere from 50 cents all the way up to $1,000. Now, you're also getting a cash bonus that's going to be paid out to you, which you can withdraw immediately if you want to. So not only are we doing these virtual presentations on Zoom, I want you guys to know we're coming live and in person, probably to a city near you. We've already wrapped up the Raleigh location. That was February 28th. We had a packed house, standing room only, in Raleigh, North Carolina. Well, we knocked it out. Coming up at the end of this month, we have Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to be in Atlanta. Then in March, we're going to be in Houston, Texas. In May, we're going to be in Ocala or Tampa, Florida. In June, we're going to be in Washington, D.C. In July, we're going to be in Las Vegas. We got Phoenix, Arizona, Columbus, Ohio. We got Los Angeles, California, and Dallas, Texas coming up, guys. But here's what I'm going to tell you. This is how phenomenal our events are. Our first ever major summit was actually made it to Business Insider, where eEstate successfully concludes the Miami Summit and affirms leadership in the era of tokenized real estate or real estate tokenization.